Greg Norman, who heads up LIV, he's the one that's helped creatively drive what's happened with the Saudi Super League and drawing all those named players with all the big bonus money to go abroad. They made contact with the LPGA about some type of working agreement where they would expand, they do a global tournament with LIV financial backing. The PGA has met with the LPGA to talk about taking them under the PGA umbrella and helping market them, conduct their tournaments, bigger prize money, etc. It's fascinating to see where this is going to go. Now, that being said, the LPGA Tour is not what it used to be. You know, I worked in sports talk radio a long time, and at one point in time, we had phenomenal women playing on the LPGA Tour. Pat Bradley, Patty Sheehan, a friend of mine, Betsy King, a whole group of really good young stars. The LPGA Tour took a different turn. All of a sudden, all these great Asian American players came from Japan and Korea, and they have an entourage of superstar talent. It's just absolutely phenomenal. But what we found is as they took over the LPGA Tour, two things happened. None of those great young players really spoke English. So how do you market somebody who's not a stateside personality, does not know nor does not want to understand the language? How do you market your tour with a superstar from South Korea? It's become a real big issue. And for some reason, America is not, outside of Michelle Wie, and then she had injury problems, America's not been able to find the next great female superstar for the LPGA Tour. So they've kind of languished out there. We used to have an LPGA stop here in Poway at the golf course. And that golf course at Stone Ridge is now gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's really sad because at one point of time, the LPGA was spectacular and they played for big money, the Dinah Shore up in Palm Springs. And it's become an international event, but it's not an event that Americans identify with right now. So under the PGA umbrella, yeah, maybe they can help them. But Greg Norman's walking around with a checkbook and they keep writing checks with Saudi money backing it. And with the LPGA, take the Saudi money and say, we're going to try to make a global tour with Greg Norman's guidance. But does that help us here in the States? That interesting story. Don't know where the outcome is going to be.
So I just think it's great how all of sports is so global now. I mean, like the Padres, we have a South Korean on the Padres and a Japanese player on the Padres, and they speak limited English, but they're still superstars. They're still beloved by the fans. So, you know, we're seeing this with women's golf, but it seems like a lot of other women's sports, like the WNBA, even like the U.S. Women's national team for soccer, they've combined forces, the men and the women. And so maybe that is the pathway where they can combine resources and they can, you know, leverage each other to the degree that they're going to get the women a lot more exposure and more money.
Well, they'll get exposure. They'll definitely get more money, regardless of which merger takes place. But America, for some reason, they have to develop another star. And it's probably been a good 5 years since we really had something of legitimacy at the top of the LPGA leaderboard. Great players abroad, my goodness. And I don't think anybody had any knowledge of what was going on in Japan and what was going on in South Korea and in Taiwan with all these players dominating whatever their tour was. Now they've come here and they've just done phenomenal things. But how do you market them? It's a huge, huge debate argument. Okay, are we ready?